I am so happy that you're able to join us for this extended interview. Make sure to visit theoffbeatlife.com. Again, that's theoffbeatlife.com to get more killer resources. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this extended interview with Jen. She is going to tell us how to get featured on Instagram with places like the Travel Women and also how to start your own travel videos. Jen, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I am happy to share tips and tricks for how to get featured. That is definitely the number one question I get all the time. People who meet me in person, people who DM me on Instagram or email me and they say, how do I get featured? And to be honest, it's pretty easy. All you have to do really in the most basic sense of it is to just use the hashtag #TheTravelWomen and to tag us in the photo at @TheTravelWomen. Tagging us in the photo is another great way to get seen. But as there are so many people using the hashtag, it is really helpful that right now we're actually launching a new section on the website called Postcards. So if you go to Contribute Postcards on the website, you will see that you can just submit your photo and a link and a little bit of information about the photo. And that's another great way to get your photo on the Travel Women site and on the Travel Women Instagram. I cannot stress enough that it also helps to have great photography. It also helps to think about, okay, where am I in relation to the scene, and make sure that you're including a woman in your photo, yourself or a friend, and to really just have fun, be creative.
By now, you already know what you're going to choose and what you're not going to choose. So what is it that you are not looking for?
A lot of times people are still actually using the hashtag and they're not even included in the photo. So definitely make sure that you're including a woman in your photo, if not you, your friend, and make sure that you're fully in the photo. Sometimes people unfortunately crop out their hand or their foot and it's just like an awkward, missing limb, and it just doesn't look as nice as if you include the full photo. So definitely think about cropping. Sometimes the easiest way is to honestly have yourself centered. Look for a fun symmetrical background, maybe archway, column, something like that. I always love to see things that are in a unique, maybe they're in a common place, but they're in a unique angle of that same place. So, if you've seen a photo 1,000 times, it's honestly less likely to be featured. I like featuring a unique angle of a place that people are then questioning, ooh, where is this photo? Ooh, I want to, stalk this person and figure out what angle and which market and where this is actually taken place. So I think it's really about adding that value, finding a unique angle, and to really just get creative with your photos.
Besides the photography, is there any other way that someone can stand out to you?
Yes, so it definitely helps if people are engaging. So sometimes people are asking me, they're DMing me, why am I not featured? But they've never liked a photo or they've never commented on a photo. And I feel a little offended that they say, oh, I'm a big fan, but then it doesn't seem like they're really engaging with the content. So it always helps to see a fan, constantly commenting, constantly liking. There are certain people that I know will always comment on every single photo, and those are the people that I'm then always going to look at and, make sure that I'm liking their photos and engaging with their photos. And when I see an amazing photo that's already tagging the Travel Women from these amazing fans that are really engaging with the brand, that definitely gives you a leg up.
That's a great tip, Jen, because there's going to be thousands of really wonderful photos, and that's how you're going to be able to stand out. So Jen will know your name for sure because she definitely checks them. Let's talk about travel videos because that's one of your passions. Do you have a recommendation for someone who's just starting out in this niche?
So my last job, I was working at a social media agency that specialized in YouTubers. So I was managing a ton of amazing YouTubers who were everywhere from starting out to really making it. And I learned so much about how to start out with video. I learned, the basics of what a channel should look like, channel art, recommended channels. And I think that there's so much when people are first starting out that you can really do to set yourself apart and make your channel or make your videos look more professional. So some tips for people just starting out are definitely to look at great examples. Figure out which YouTubers or which video creators you really enjoy watching and see, okay, what's their style? Are they vloggers? Do they talk to the camera? Are they holding the camera? Is it on a tripod? What types of editing do you like? Do you like fast, quick edits, or do you like slower videos that are more giving you a tour of a place? And then once you figure out what you're interested in, then you can sort of dive into figuring out, maybe depending on what your skills are, maybe you start by taking some, quick, easy online classes. I definitely recommend there's so many online classes out there where you can just sort of start with a free trial for a couple months or a couple weeks and just learn a little bit about whether it's how to edit videos or how to even set up a camera on a tripod. Whatever level you are, it can be so easy to get started, even with your phone nowadays. You can do a lot with your iPhone or with your Android phone. Gotta include both. But basically, there's so many resources out there that if you really want to get into video, look at who you admire and then honestly just get started. You gotta start creating, and then the first pieces of a video that you're gonna create are not gonna be great, but then just keep creating. I definitely have done that in a lot of ways. I created so many vlogs that I actually never edited and finished until I finally got to a point where I was getting better at vlogging, that I was able to edit it and feel like, okay, now I'm getting the hang of this. Now I can, and I feel like I can share it. So just get into it, start creating it, and you're going to get better with each time that you sit down with your camera and are making these videos, and each time you edit.
When you were first starting out doing vlogs, where did you go? Was there a specific resource that you went to learn how to edit and just start this whole thing?
Yes, so I love lynda.com and Skillshare.com. They both offer free trials, so I have definitely taken a lot of classes through them that were really helpful. I even took, here in New York City, there's a film school that offers cheap classes of how to do video editing, and I took one of those, which was really helpful because I wanted to use some really advanced software like Adobe Premiere, and I wanted to really, make edits that were professional quality. So I know that you can do a lot with iMovie, but I've had issues where, you lose your whole project and it's frustrating. So I wanted to really learn the proper way to do it. And honestly, sometimes, taking that class, even if it's a couple $100s, can be a really good investment in the future.
Especially if you want to make it into your career and you want to make money from this. So it's an investment. What about editing? Do you have any tips on the best way to do it?
Yes, I have a few tips. There are certain things that beginner photographers and videographers do in their editing that I think gives them away, that shows, okay, this person's new at this. Maybe they are not as used to editing. And I think some of the things that I would watch out for is not to edit too much. In the beginning, if you're not sure how to edit, keep it quick and clean cut edits. Don't get too fancy with like fancy fade-ins or swooping. You don't want it to look like a crazy PowerPoint presentation of video. So I definitely think keep it simple at first before you learn how to do it. And whenever I learn a new editing effect or something like that, I try to do it subtle at first to figure out if I like it. I don't want it to be too flashy. Yeah. I don't want the edit to distract from the video, but I want it to enhance it so that you almost feel like, oh, I don't even know that edit's happening, but I feel transported into that scene. So I think editing is good when you can almost barely tell that it's there, and it's still subtle.
So once you've gotten started and doing vlogs or travel videos, how do you get to the next level?
Absolutely. So I think branding helps, and consistency. So branding is making sure that if it's your Facebook page or your YouTube channel, make sure that the banner on the top includes your name, includes if you're going to be posting on every Monday. And just making sure that you're using the same fonts, the same colors, that sort of helps you get a leg up and looking a lot more professional. And then with consistency, I think that is so important, whether or not you want to announce a specific day that you're always going to upload content, or just trying to commit yourself to always editing on a certain day so that you can create content, if not daily, maybe weekly or something like that, so that people know what to expect from you and that you're giving yourself that opportunity to constantly get better each week or each day. And some of the most successful video creators are daily vloggers, and they create content on the daily. So if you can commit to that, which I still have not, but I want to, it is definitely a great way to really get ahead on, perfecting your skill. Once you do it over and over again, you get so much better. So I think consistency, making a schedule for yourself, whatever is doable for you, and just sticking to it is a great way to get ahead.
So another thing that you had mentioned before that you really love are drones. So do you have any amazing tips on that as well?
Yes, I love drones. So I got into drones, I think, before they were really trendy. And I got a drone, and I was super careful. My first flight was in Costa Rica, and I was just like, everyone stand back, just trying to do my own thing and doing it very slowly. I think that when people first start out, the best way to crash a drone is to think that, just do it really quickly. But, like anything, if you do it slowly, moving the controls slowly, that's the best way to get used to it. There's so much you can do with a drone to really elevate a video, or even to elevate photography. And I think that some people, get into it too quickly. You do need to keep in mind that this is not a toy, and this is a very expensive hobby. So you kind of have to be okay with, if you're going to buy a $1,000 drone or a $500 drone, giving up that money if, God forbid, it crashes. So that's another thing to think about. I've seen so many travel bloggers cut their fingers and everything, and I'm just like, I think the biggest thing is to be careful when you get into it, to remember that it's not a toy, to take even just online classes, or even just watch YouTube videos about it, so that before you start flying, okay, what are the controls? What else can I learn, so that if I get into a situation where the drone gets off GPS, know ahead of time what you need to do. Things like clicking the return to home button when you've lost your drone is something that's very helpful, but then canceling it before it, might accidentally return to home through a roof, which I have seen happen. Little tips like that can go a long way. So I think, just as with anything, making sure you think about your purchase and know as much as you can ahead of time always helps.
Wonderful. I'll make sure to remember all of those tips, because I'm planning to get one, hopefully this year, and not injure myself, of course. Thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate all of this incredible tips that you gave us for this extended interview. Thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you. Really glad to be here.
Thanks for joining me on this extended interview. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. We can also chat some more on Facebook at The OB Live. I'll talk to you soon.